Halloween is a popular holiday, enjoyed by adults and children alike. It's a night filled with the joyous coos of giddy children roaming the streets of their secluded neighborhoods with a sense of naivety as they rap on the majority of doors they pass by. A night where pillars of local community open their doors, ready to entertain the eerie festivities of the evening. At least, that's how Halloween is celebrated in most areas. In most cities. In most rural and suburban towns. But Eventide is no ordinary town. It's a town plagued by an unknown entity, a grim reaper-type figure, who only emerges from the shadows in his true form, cloaked in his cape every Halloween night. An angel of death. As for their parents and other adults living in the town, they make it their business to return home at the same time as their children. By 5 o'clock, the entire town is still and quiet. All doors are locked and lights switched off. Curtains are drawn and windows are boarded up. The only source of light in most households is the blazing fire, around which couples, parents, and their children huddle closely together, embracing each other tightly, hoping that they'll make it through the night, hoping they haven't been chosen by the Grim Reaper, hoping that they'll survive the terror he induces into the town's population for another year, and will return to the routine of their daily lives the next morning. Last year, I escaped the Grim Reaper, but I certainly didn't return to the routine of my everyday life. The Grim Reaper took someone from me. He chose my best friend Alex as one of his string of last year's victims. And whatever sense of fear I may have endured in previous years of this murderer has transcended into a burning desire to avenge Alex's death. A desire to take him down. Every year, he claims at least one new victim. He comes to their doors and knocks gently during the concealing darkness of Halloween night. And every year, there's at least one home surrounded by crime scene tape and an abundance of police cars the next morning. His presence has haunted our town on the same very night every year for as long as any resident who dares to speak of him can remember. Nobody knows who he is, but we know he's always there. Everyone can feel the chill in the air on Halloween night, and indeed the uncanny atmosphere veiling over the town for the entire year round, as he is deciding on his next victim to purge from Eventide. The Grim Reaper is an elephant in the room within streams of local gossip. Nobody mentions him, but they all feel him. They all feel his thirsty desire for bloodshed. This is why Eventide is different from other towns. Instead of children carefreely rambling their street or housing estate on the lookout for the most festively decorated houses on Halloween night, they are put under strict curfew and are safely back in their homes before dusk even sets in. Halloween is 4 days away, and I'm preparing my plan to catch the Grim Reaper this year. I want to tear him to shreds. I want to make him suffer, like he did with Alex, like he has with this town for long enough. It's time Eventide sees the end to the grasp of terror he has over its people. It's time he's stopped in his track. Thomas, get up. I strip the warmth of the duvet from my body, exposing my bare chest. Here we go. The last day of school before Halloween and the weekend. I stumble into the bathroom and yank my toothbrush from the cabinet. I look at my bloodshot eyes as the refreshing zap of mint filling my mouth snaps me out of my slumbersome state. Thomas, Mom shouts. Get up. I spit the foam from my mouth into the sink. I'm coming. She is so impatient. Hurry up. Your breakfast is almost ready. I rush into the bedroom and throw on my school uniform. I grab my phone from my bedside locker as I drape my blazer over my arm and rush downstairs, my tie hanging loosely from my neck. Mom greets me by sliding a plate with a bacon sandwich across the countertop. Thanks, Mom. As I take a seat across from Hannibal, I notice Dad's absence. Not that I'm not used to it. It's just, he normally at least stays for breakfast. No Dad this morning? Mom's back is still facing me. She's scraping butter against a slice of bread, her sharp focus on the task at hand. He's got a meeting and had to leave early. I nod as she brings Annabelle her boiled egg with soldiers on a plate. Mum peers at me. Come on, Thomas. Eat up. I look down to my breakfast sandwich. My nose wrinkles slightly. I lift it reluctantly and take a bite as she watches me. She turns to Annabelle. Belle, sweetie, why don't you go eat your breakfast while watching a bit of telly? Annabelle smiles sweetly. Okay, Mummy, thank you. She grabs her plate and rests it on the coffee table in the living room. Mum watches me intently. Is there a reason you're not hungry? No, not really. She nods. Here it comes. The lecture on my well-being and another session of grief counseling. It's Alex, isn't it? I don't know why or how, but even the mention of his name is enough to make me well up. Alex has been gone just short of a year now, and I still haven't really come to terms with it. I nod slightly as I bite my lip. It's just he... She nods in silent understanding. It must be hard on you, Thomas. It's been almost a year since his tragic death. Since his murder, I muttered out. Mum removes her square glasses and places them on the table. Her face softens and she smiles weakly at me. Without her glasses, she looks less stern, less serious, less formidable, more approachable. He was my best mate, Mum, and he's gone. It's meant to be easier as time goes on, but it's just getting harder. Mum places her hand over mine and squeezes it gently. I know, sweetie, I know, and I'm sorry. I wish I could heal your pain, Thomas. I wish I could bring him back for you. If I could, I would. My disheveled hair falls just above my eyebrow as I bow my head. I don't know how I thought lowering my face could hide the fact that I'm sobbing right now. I just didn't want my mum to see me crying, but I couldn't suppress it. Mum gently grazes my cheek with her thumb, wiping a tear from the side of my face. She places her hands to the back of my neck and pulls me closer to her. As she runs her fingers through my hair, I rest my head over her shoulder. I swallow down my tears and bring myself back to sit upright in the wooden kitchen chair. She takes my school tie in her hand and begins to fix it around my neck. Mum, it's okay. I can do it. I venture into the hallway and stand before the large golden-framed mirror. I secure the tie and adjust my collar. As I yank on my blazer, I notice that Mum is still watching me with a perused expression. Thomas, you've only got to get through today, and then we'll the weekend to talk about this. You hope, I say. Mum frowns at me, a crease forming in her forehead. Thomas. I shrug my shoulders at her. You hope, I reiterate. I'm sure Alex thought he'd be returning to school after Halloween last year. That didn't happen, though, did it? She falls silent and swallows. Mum, I'm sorry, but I can't help but think about what the Grim Reaper did. And, Thomas, keep your voice down, she hisses. Your little sister is in the living room. She could hear you. Why does everybody in this damn town refuse to address that we have a serial killer in our midst? Mum purses her lips. I'm sorry, I utter. I've got to go. I step out onto the street and begin to make my way through Eventide. With my school bag slung over one shoulder, I creak open the rusted old gate to the grounds of the graveyard. Shuffling among the massive tombstones, I plant my feet before one of the most recent graves. Alex's name is engraved on the stone in golden letters, just above his birth and death date. He was aged 17 and a few months when he lost his life. It's not fair. Hey, Alex, mate, I whisper. How are you? I bow my head as I look to the freshly laid bunch of flowers at his graveside. Your mum must have left those. There's a twitch in the air. I jerk my head around again. I can hear the delicate crunching of feet against crisp autumn leaves. I look to my feet, which are planted on nothing other than grass. Something's not right. There's someone else here, and they're watching me. I'm sure of it. A crow perched on a nearby gravestone is watching me with its tiny beating eyes. It caws at me and comes closer, hopping from one grave to another, and comes to a rest on the stone adjacent to Alex's. I can't help but fix my gaze on it. It caws again. A twig has just snapped. The shadowing trees and bushes at the entrance are swaying gently, which is odd, because there's not much of a breeze this morning. "Hello," I call. "Is someone there?" No answer. My breaths are becoming unsteady. I shuffle closer towards the gaps in the bushes. I have a horrible feeling about this. Someone was watching me, and crazy as it sounds, I think it was the Grim Reaper. Who's there? I quiver. I whip my head up and dart my gaze around the graveyard. It's vacant, but I could have sworn I heard footsteps somewhere nearby. I did. I definitely did. As I look around, I can hear the chirping sound of small birds flocking together against the early morning sky. Maybe I was just being paranoid, and I've watched too many horror movies. I mean, who else would be crazy enough to be strolling through a graveyard this early? At 12 minutes past 8 in the morning. Anyway, I say, focusing back on Alex's stone, I want you to know that I'm going to make sure the Grim Reaper pays for what he did to you. This year, I'm going to catch him. I promise you. I place my hand to one of the branches and pull it to the side. Peering into the emptiness of the cavern among the tree branches, I cautiously take another step forward. Once more, I whip my head around as I perceive the rustling of leaves from behind me. It's him. I know it is. I'm ready to go for him. As I study his face, I stop on the spot. Did I scare you? It's just Andrew. I release a sigh of relief. Dude, you look like you just saw a ghost. I nod shakily. Sorry, I gasp. I thought you were... Andrew raises his eyebrow as the corners of his mouth curl into an amused smile. I thought you were someone else, I tell him. Never mind. His smirk spreads across his face. What are you doing here? It doesn't matter, I reply. How about you? He chuckles. Well, I was on my way to school, and I saw you walking in here. I thought I'd try give you a bit of a fright. Obviously, it worked. You should have seen your face. You were shitting yourself. I smile, my breaths becoming more even, as I release a nervous chuckle. Let's go. As we step out of the graveyard, I look to the trees again. I dart my eyes back to the crow and release another quiet chuckle. I really do watch too many horror movies. Mayor. School bag slung over my shoulder, I shuffle towards Dad's office. His personal receptionist, Rita, greets me with her usual wide smile. Thomas, what can I do for you today? I'm here to see my dad, I tell her. I wanted to catch him before his lunch break. Rita purses her lips, and she pulls a slight frown. I nod at her. I know, he's very busy, but this isn't personal. I need to talk to him about something as the mayor, not as my dad. She nods curtly. He's in his office. As far as I know, he's alone. I smile weakly and head towards the door. I feel bad about just lying to Rita because knowing my dad, she'd have a bit of a talking to later over letting me approach him at work. What I wanted to talk to him about is personal, but I feel that as mayor, he's probably the best person to talk to about this. And he's rarely home anyway, so I never really get a chance to talk to him about anything. My dad and I aren't exactly close. We don't have a huge bond, so it'll be easier to talk to him as a resident of Eventide rather than as his son, if that makes sense. I'm standing at his office door, inching my clenched fist closer to the wood, my hands resting an inch before the surface of the door. I want to knock. I need to talk to him, but I don't want to interrupt him from work. He's not exactly understanding towards that kind of thing. I'll probably be greeted by an impatient scowl and a quick dismissal from the office. But it's worth a shot, I guess. I draw my hand back and bring it closer to the door again. Faye, I'm sorry, But I don't have time for this, Dad states. He's not alone. He's with Mom, which is weird. She doesn't usually dare approach him at work either. I lower my hand and tune into Mom's response. Luke, she retorts, Thomas is our son. Don't you dare turn around and tell me you can't spare 5 minutes to talk about him. My nose wrinkles at this response. Look, Faye, it's unfortunate that the poor kid died and that he was a close friend to Thomas, but I cannot do anything about it. I don't have time, as insensitive as that may sound. I swallow at Dad's response. I know that it's true, and that he doesn't really have the time, but it feels like my dad is labeling me as an inconvenience. And that kind of hurts. I can hear Mom releasing a tetchy sigh. There's definitely an argument brewing here, and if it doesn't escalate right here, right now, that'll mean a bout of tension back at home tonight. Luke, would you forget about the fact that you are mayor and own half of this goddamn town for a minute? I don't care if you feel overwhelmed by the amount of businesses you are trying to run while also trying to lead this town right now. Because our son is a lot more important. He comes first. He was sobbing his heart out this morning over Alex. You weren't there to see it. You're never there, and it's time you started. Thomas needs you. He needs you to be his father. And if you want to carry on putting your job first, then at least focus your attention on one of the biggest issues in this town. My eyes widen. Is she referring to, what are you talking about, Faye? The Grim Reaper. She hisses. If you want to focus on work, then focus on finding out who he is and getting him locked up. Mom and I must be telepathic somehow, because this is exactly what I came to discuss with him. I lean to the door to eavesdrop on Dad's hushed response. I can't do anything about that, he snaps. I raise my eyebrow. Luke, Mom objects. This killer is targeting the people of Eventide. This town. The town that you supposedly care so much about that you wanted to be mayor of it. If you cared about the people, about your son, you would do something about it. I'm glad that Mom is telling him this, but I don't want them to be fighting because of me. I also wish she hadn't let it slip that I was crying this morning. I don't want Dad to think I'm weak. My role in the town is not that huge, Faye, and I'm sorry, but I cannot help Thomas. Everything's fallen silent in the room. I can't see them, obviously, but I can imagine that right about now. Dad is sinking into his wheeled leather office chair, and Mom is standing before him, an expression of hurt across her face as she's conjuring up a sharp response. It's not that you cannot help him, she says. You're just too self-absorbed to want to. And now I can hear Mom's marching footsteps towards the door. My heart skips a beat and I dash backwards, concealing myself from Mom's sight at the curve in the corridor leading to Dad's office. I watch his door intently, waiting for him to follow Mom and tell her she's wrong. But the door handle isn't budging, and there's no sign of him stirring at all in the room. I swallow. My dad has never been any different, but I guess I just keep hoping that he'll change. I was going to seek his aid over the Grim Reaper, but it's fairly obvious that he's unwilling to help. So I just have to take it upon myself, I suppose. My dad, the mayor of Eventide, doesn't seem to want to help his own people. And what's worse, he doesn't seem motivated in the slightest to help me, his son. What hope does this town have, if that's the case? He shakes his head. My orders were simply to have you wait outside for him. I nod. Thank you, sir. I exit the office and come to a stop at the gate. There's already a taxi parked out on the curb. The driver gestures with a quick wave, and I shuffle towards the car. I can feel a rack of nerves rising from the cavity of my chest. I wonder what my dad so urgently wants to discuss with me, so much so that he'd do it during his work hours and secondly, have me dismissed from school for it. Something doesn't seem right about this, and I'm kind of dreading it. I open the door and hop inside Dot. As I pull the door open, I can see someone from the corner of my eye in the near distance. He's staring at me. I narrow my eyes and bring my head closer to the windscreen. As I peer at him, he shuffles backwards and turns down a side street of Eventide. I raise my eyebrows for a second. You okay? The driver asks, fixing an expression of scrutiny on me. I blink away tears as I look to her. Her eyes are watering too. She looks me in the eye, continuing to plead silently with me. My eye contact wavers, and I look down. I'm sorry, Luke, I have to. I love you too. I place my arms gently around Lucy and pull her closer to me, my hand pushing her silky hair from her beautiful, petite face. I press my lips to hers, her skin gently brushing against mine. Don't worry, I'll be okay. I'm going to take him down. Lucy's lip is wobbling slightly. Tommy, she says. I see where this is going. A final plea to me to abandon my intentions and tell her I'll be staying home on Halloween. I know that I'm still going to stick by my plan, so there's no point in letting her finish. I could tell her that she's convinced me, to spare her feelings. But I can't lie to her. Not Lucy. I place my thumb to her face and graze it against her tear-stained cheek, wiping it dry. I'm sorry, I can't. I've got to go. Calm down? He retorts. Calm down? That fucking psychopath murdered Alex last year, one of my best friends. And now, another one of my best friends is just making himself a target and basically volunteering himself to the bastard. You've got a death wish. He's stalking towards the door. Andrew, he snaps his head back in my direction. See you, Thomas? Try make the most of your last few days alive. I frown as he slams the door closed. I inhale sharply and look to Evan. I'm sorry, guys, but I've got to at least try. I hop from the desk and venture out onto the corridor. Tommy, we need to talk, Lucy tells me, with his jaw clenched. Andrew drops from the table on which he had been slouched and plants his feet to the carpeted floor. Thomas, there's no way that this is happening. Guys, back me up. Isn't this crazy? Evan nods. I'm sorry, Tommy, but I'm with Andrew on this. I nod. That's what I thought. Okay, guys, I'm not going to try force you, but I'm still going to do this, with or without you. Andrew's cheeks are visibly flushing, exasperation written all over his face. You're fucking crazy, Thomas. It's your funeral. I wince slightly at his response. I couldn't have expected him to be keen on the idea, but I guess I thought that he'd at least try be supportive about it. Andrew is making his way towards the door, seemingly agitated by the whole thing. Andrew, come on, mate. Calm down. I turn to face her, a smile spread across my face from merely hearing her voice. You okay, babe? She smiles weakly and gently takes hold of my hand, her warm fingers intertwining with mine. I was talking to Andrew, she whispers. I let out a sigh and frown slightly. Luke, please, Tommy, please don't put yourself out there for him as a target. I love you, Thomas, and I want you to be safe. I bit on my lips slightly, a nervous habit of mine that Mum could never get me to break. Luke, I know you want to stop him. You want to avenge what happened to Alex. I get it. But Tommy, Alex is gone. You are alive, and we all want you to stay that way. I'd rather you were here than died some kind of hero. Please don't do this. For Evan, Andrew. For your mum, Dad, Annabelle. For me, Andrew's deep in thought. He's nodding slightly as he quietly reflects on this. What do you need help with? I clear my throat with a nervous cough. I know that this is a lot to ask, but on Halloween, I'm not staying home. I'm going to roam quietly around the town, on the lookout for him. And I was thinking I could do with some backup. Andrew darts his widened eyes around in a circle, catching eye contact with all our friends. Did I just hear right? You want us to stand out alone in the middle of Eventide, while a murderous psychopath is walking the streets with a scythe in his hand? Thomas, are you nuts? I flinch slightly at Andrew's use of my full name. He never calls me Thomas, unless he's extremely vexed or concerned. Look, guys, I know it sounds crazy, but if we don't... I usher Andrew and my inner circle of mates into a vacant classroom and close the door. What's up, Tommy? Guys, as you know, it's Halloween 3 days from now. Everybody in the room stiffens at the word Halloween. A tense, repressed aura of dread fills the room as I pause. The unsettling wave of gloom resides in me too, but I can't cower from talking about this. That's what everybody does, and it's time that this changed. Guys, I need your help. The Grim Reaper has haunted this town for long enough. At one time, I would have been scared to speak out against it. But he took Alex last year, and I'm not willing to stand by any longer and allow him to take the people close from us. I flash one last smile at her, a weak one, and proceed to hurry down the corridor towards my biology class as the bell rings through my ears. Thomas Burton, please report to the principal's office now. My teacher nods at me with a look of approval. I quickly unzip my school bag and toss my books inside. My chair scrapes along the classroom floor as I bring myself to my feet. I stroll out of the room and close the door behind Dot as I hover outside the Mr. Blanchard's office. He beckons me inside. Thomas, your father called. He wishes to speak to you urgently. Wait outside the school gate. A taxi is on its way to bring you to his office. Oh, I gulp. Did he say what he wanted to speak to me about? I look to him and give a shrug of the shoulders. Yeah, fine. As he pulls out onto the street, I look out to the road ahead, forgetting about the man I had just seen. Maybe he wasn't even staring at me. It might have just been coincidence that I caught his eye. Thomas, I assume you're aware that there's a very specific reason that I called you from school to talk to you. Yeah? Dad scrutinizes me and I stumble over my words. Sorry, I say. Yes, sir. He gives a nod of satisfaction. But I continue. I'm not exactly sure what it is you want to discuss with me. Dad leans across his desk, planting his palms right in front of me. His head lowered slightly, he catches my eye as I sit opposite him. 3 words, he says. The Grim Reaper. I break eye contact. He knows about my plan. I'm sure of it. Who told you about that? Was it Andrew? Irrelevant, he states. Thomas, you're here because you're going to promise to abandon your ridiculous little plan. With all due respect, sir, I reply. I don't think it's ridiculous. Something needs to be done about this problem. It is not your problem to solve, Dad barks. Then help me, I say. Using your position as mayor, do something to catch him. Do you think I've tried? Thomas' dad's face is leaned too close to mine for comfort. I didn't say that, I quiver. He dismisses me with a jerking hand gesture. As my son, you will obey one simple order. You will forget about this personal issue you are having. You will forget about this ridiculous idea you've gotten into your head. You will say put at home this Halloween and every Halloween from here on in. You will not make yourself or anyone in this family a target. You will not put us in any extra danger. Is that understood? I can feel my heart palpitating. I won. Dad pounds his fist off the desk. Is that understood? He roars. Yes, I mumble. A vein in his head is pulsing. Yes, what? I swallow and bring my bowed head to face him. Yes, Dad jerks away from the desk, and his anger seems to be fading instantaneously. Good, he smiles. Now, leave me be. I have some calls to make. The taxi driver will drop you home. I nod and scramble from his office. I usher Andrew and my inner circle of mates into a vacant classroom and close the door. What's up, Tommy? Guys, as you know, it's Halloween 3 days from now. Everybody in the room stiffens at the word Halloween. A tense, repressed aura of dread fills the room as I pause. The unsettling wave of gloom resides in me too, but I can't cower from talking about this. That's what everybody does, and it's time that this changed. Guys, I need your help. The Grim Reaper has haunted this town for long enough. At one time, I would have been scared to speak out against it. But he took Alex last year, and I'm not willing to stand by any longer and allow him to take the people close from us. I flash one last smile at her, a weak one, and proceed to hurry down the corridor towards my biology class as the bell rings through my ears. Thomas Burton, please report to the principal's office now. My teacher nods at me with a look of approval. I quickly unzip my school bag and toss my books inside. My chair scrapes along the classroom floor as I bring myself to my feet. I stroll out of the room and close the door behind Dot as I hover outside the Mr. Blanchard's office. He beckons me inside. Thomas, your father called. He wishes to speak to you urgently. Wait outside the school gate. A taxi is on its way to bring you to his office. Oh, I gulp. Did he say what he wanted to speak to me about? I look to him and give a shrug of the shoulders. Yeah, fine. As he pulls out onto the street, I look out to the road ahead, forgetting about the man I had just seen. Maybe he wasn't even staring at me. It might have just been coincidence that I caught his eye. Thomas, I assume you're aware that there's a very specific reason that I called you from school to talk to you. Yeah? Dad scrutinizes me and I stumble over my words. Sorry, I say. Yes, sir. He gives a nod of satisfaction. But I continue. I'm not exactly sure what it is you want to discuss with me. Dad leans across his desk, planting his palms right in front of me. His head lowered slightly, he catches my eye as I sit opposite him. 3 words, he says. The Grim Reaper. I break eye contact. He knows about my plan. I'm sure of it. Who told you about that? Was it Andrew? Irrelevant, he states. Thomas, you're here because you're going to promise to abandon your ridiculous little plan. With all due respect, sir, I reply. I don't think it's ridiculous. Something needs to be done about this problem. It is not your problem to solve, Dad barks. Then help me, I say. Using your position as mayor, do something to catch him. Do you think I've tried? Thomas' dad's face is leaned too close to mine for comfort. I didn't say that, I quiver. He dismisses me with a jerking hand gesture. As my son, you will obey one simple order. You will forget about this personal issue you are having. You will forget about this ridiculous idea you've gotten into your head. You will say put at home this Halloween and every Halloween from here on in. You will not make yourself or anyone in this family a target. You will not put us in any extra danger. Is that understood? I can feel my heart palpitating. I won. Dad pounds his fist off the desk. Is that understood? He roars. Yes, I mumble. A vein in his head is pulsing. Yes, what? I swallow and bring my bowed head to face him. Yes, Dad jerks away from the desk, and his anger seems to be fading instantaneously. Good, he smiles. Now, leave me be. I have some calls to make. The taxi driver will drop you home. I nod and scramble from his office. The base of the door makes a sweeping noise as it brushes against the rug in the hallway. The floorboards creaking beneath my school shoes, I step inside my home. My foot lands on an envelope that's just slipped from the letterbox. I reach down and swipe it from the floor. Thomas, it reads. I swing the door closed and tear the note from its envelope. My eyes widen as I unfold the creased paper to reveal a letter composed with a variety of different, cut-out letters from magazines. What the hell? I focus in on the letters themselves and begin to read the message to myself. Thomas, it says. I'm aware you've been seeking me out. just as I've been seeking you. I've been watching you. You want to talk? Then let's talk. Meet me in the center of the woodland, bordering Eventide and Castle Rock. Come and don't tell anybody you're coming. And come alone, or there were severe consequences. Don't show up, and I'll show up at your house this evening with my scythe. When you, your mum, the mayor, and that adorable little sister of yours are in the midst of your family dinner. 5 o'clock. See you there. The Grim Reaper. At least that's what they've nicknamed me, right? I can't believe this. This can't be for real. It has to be some kind of twisted joke. Maybe it was Andrew, and he wants to get me alone so he can convince me to forget about my plot to take the Grim Reaper down. No, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't stoop that low. If he has a problem, he says it as it is, straight to my face, without playing any games. Oh my God, it was the Grim Reaper. Over the past few days, there have been a number of instances where I felt like I was being watched, and I assumed I was being paranoid. But he claimed that he has been watching me. That means my hunches were right, and I have my very own stalker. Does that mean he's chosen me as his victim this year? I guess I'll find out when I meet him. I can't not go. I won't risk what he may do to my family if I refuse to show up. Glancing to my watch, it's 4:30. If I don't leave soon, I won't get there on time. So I grab my coat and pull the door open. I step out onto the street as a chill makes its way up my spine. I am on my way to meet with Eventide's very own angel of death. In the secluded depths of a cavernous woodland, my feet squelch in the mucky patches of the forest. Now I know why nobody roams these woods. There's a dense atmosphere of desolation to be felt in this place. It's dark, gloomy, isolated. I guess that's what the Reaper wanted, somewhere where he knew I'd be all by myself, isolated, defenseless, open to whatever it is he may have planned to do to me. I take a shallow breath and exhale as I come to a standstill adjacent to a row of thick, shadowy trees. It's hard to hear anything over my hyperventilated breaths of intensifying fear. I can see my breath as I exhale it. Now, I can hear a treading set of footsteps making their way closer from the near distance. Fog is veiling the forest, and it's making it harder to see clearly. Hello. I try to call out, but it comes across more like a fearful yelp. My voice is trembling. Now do I understand just how scared Alex must have felt last year as he realized his fate. Is someone there? It's me, Thomas, he whispers. I whip my body around, trying to spot him amid the clouding darkness. Where are you? The gentle rustling of leaves tells me he's coming closer and closer. I can't see him. I feel like I've lost control of all of my senses, apart from one. My hearing. All I can depend on is my ears right now. With the impending gloom of darkness, all I can do is trust my hearing. But I can't depend on it, because there's noises coming from every direction. Above me, there's birds squawking and fluttering their wings. I can hear the wind blowing, and it's causing the branches of trees to sway in every direction. Leaves swirling throughout the woodland. Footsteps becoming louder as they come closer. And his voice. I'm right here. As I turn in the direction of the voice, I feel a set of fingers pressing firmly into my cheeks, grasping my jaw tightly. And in the palm of his clammy hand, he's clutching some kind of dampened rag. With him holding it forcefully over my mouth, I try to fight him. I try to escape his grasp. But all I can feel is my alertness wavering. It's getting harder to fight his hold on me, and all my strength is leaving my body. I'm starting to feel weak and drowsy, like I may at any minute just fall asleep. I'm losing consciousness. I can't feel an urge to continue resisting. I've sunken to the ground, and I'm lying at his feet. I can't get up, but I can feel his presence. He's leaning over me. I can see the vague outline of his head. but it's too dark to be able to describe his appearance. Either that, or I'm just falling deeper and deeper into unconsciousness. Or maybe both. I'm not sure which. He's now lifting me to my feet by yanking me upwards from my arm. Ordinarily, I think that it'd hurt. But an intense sense of numbness is overriding that. He's hauling me further and further into the woodland, and I'm slumped against his shoulder. I can't even walk. My feet are dragging limply along the muddy ground. I know that right now, I should feel afraid. Adrenaline should be pumping. I should be threshing against his grip. But I can't battle my drooping eyelids anymore. I can feel myself succumbing to the desire to just tune out and fall asleep. It's easier. My head is throbbing, my eyes shut tightly. I feel like I've just snapped from a deep sleep, but I'm in a state of semi-consciousness. Like you feel when your alarm clock sounds and you're aware of it, but you still can't quite shake the grogginess from your body. Like you can't open your eyes right away. I'm squinting, slowly forcing my eyelids to open. It's not just that I feel too drowsy to move. I physically can't. My arms are stuck, something wrapped tightly around my wrists. As I peer to my hands, I realize that a strong binding mass of duct tape is keeping my wrists restrained to the arms of a wooden chair. I can't budge them. It's that tight. It hurts. My legs are no better. I swing my foot outwards. No use. All that's done is knock my ankle off the leg. And now I'm wincing, the groan built in my throat inaudible. It doesn't slip past the tape over my mouth. My eyes have finally started to adjust to the semi-darkness of the room. To my left dangles a dim, flickering light bulb. Seen as my neck is the only thing I can move. I whip my head around this dark room. Where am I? What happened? I try to call out, but my strangled cries for help stay confined to my throat. But I continue. Nonetheless, my body feels grimy and sticky from the heat rushing through it. I lean my body weight backwards as much as humanely possible. Rocking the front legs of the chair from the surface of the floor, I wiggle my ankle against the tape. Whatever adhesive is in this tape is stinging my skin as I work against it. It's painful to fight against it, but I have to try. It's my only chance of escaping. I have to escape. Right now, I'm in a position of vulnerability. I have to free myself. I wouldn't like to imagine what'll happen if I stay put and my assailant comes back while I'm still bound to this chair. I swing the chair backwards once more. I've shifted my body weight too much. The chair is falling backwards, and I'm helpless to stop it. I wince as I come into contact with the floor, the chair crashing on its side. I groan with the pain. All my body weight is resting on my arm, which is pinned to the floor in a paining angle. As I shift my bodily alignment more central to the chair to ease the pain, I hear footsteps. They're striding closer and closer to the room. Shit, I've got to slip out of these restraints now, or I'm dead. Beads of sweat are rolling from the pores in my face, and my clothing is becoming drenched with it. Never in my life have I experienced such a strong feeling of terror. Hey, Thomas, you're awake. Now we can talk. Let me help you. I'm sobbing beneath the tape, which I'm glad he can't hear. I'm also glad, in this moment in time, that I'm unable to speak. If I were, I know I'd probably be running my mouth off at him, spouting a string of insults likely to antagonize him into doing something terrible. He's crouching beside me, his hands placed to my upper arms. In one swift movement, he yanks the chair upright. Still crouching opposite me, he brings his face level with mine. There are tears streaming down my face, and I have no means to wipe them away. Hey, don't cry now. It's okay. We're just going to have a little chat, he purrs. The terror rising from my chest is choking me. Coupled with having the thick tape over my mouth, I feel like I'm slowly suffocating. My mouth is dry, my throat raw from all the stifled screams that have lodged in my voice box. His quaint tone of voice makes him all the more creepy to me. He's slowly bringing his hand to my face. I jerk my head away from him, but he still manages to catch a tear from the side of my face. I grimace at the physical contact. "Relax, Thomas. I'm not going to hurt you," he whispers, "as long as you cooperate. Now I'm going to remove the tape from your mouth. And you're not going to scream for help. Not that anyone hear you. I just want you to reserve your voice. Nod if you understand and agree." I nod. Not that I want to agree. I just want to talk to him. I want to know who he is and why he's doing this. The slow advancement of his hand towards my face is once more making me shiver. He grabs hold of a corner of the tape. Sorry if this stings a bit. Now he's peeling the tape from my skin. I let out a groan as he rips it away in one movement. "Who are you? Where am I? And what do you want?" I tremble. My throat is incredibly dry. I need some water. It's making me fatigued, and I bow my head slightly. He tuts at me. "You need not ask who I am, Thomas. You know the answer to that question. Tell me, who am I?" Beneath the mask he's wearing, all I can notice is his eyes. His piercingly blue eyes. I swallow. "You're the Grim Reaper." He nods. "Indeed I am." His confirmation of his identity sends me more and more into a sense of panic. This guy killed my best friend and countless others, and now he's been stalking me and has me tied to a chair. "What do you want from me?" He kneels before me. "I've been watching you, and I know you're different from the rest of them. I have a test for you. I want to see if you can pass it by making the right decision." I stifle my uneven breaths for a moment. "What are you talking about?" He bows his head. For a moment, it looks like an expression of remorse. Guilt for what he's done. "You know Halloween is in 3 days' time. That means I'm due to perform my grim yearly task. And I've run out of inspiration. So you're going to help me choose one of this year's residents of Eventide who'll come face to face with me. What?" I stammer. "No," I thrash in the chair. "Let me go." He stands up and places his hands on my shoulders. "Not until you comply." He's circling around me. "What are you doing?" He doesn't answer. The chair is now suspended in mid-air, with him holding the back of it. Its back legs screech as he pushes it towards the doorway. "Wait, what are you doing? Where are we going?" He brings my chair to a standstill before a laptop resting on a desk. This room is also dim, the only source of light being the screen of the laptop and the fireplace at the other side. He takes a seat on the desk beside the laptop. "Shut up and listen, because I'm only going to explain this once. I'm going to click into a program of mine, which will show you a resident of Eventide and their actions at this moment in time. I'll do this 3 times, after which you will tell me which of the 3 I will pay a visit to in 3 days' time. You're out of your mind," I tell him. "I'm not deciding on who you're going to murder like some savage animal." He clears his throat. I said, "Shut up and listen. You'll choose one of the 3, or they'll all suffer the same dreadful fate. You can save 2 of them, like I'm sure you would have wanted for Alex. Don't say his name, I hiss. I'm not choosing. If you want a victim, pick me. Kill me." The tears have returned to my eyes. I blink them down. I shake my head. I'm not playing this twisted game. Mr. Blanchard is doing nothing but good things for me. There's no way I'm allowing the Reaper to take him. My eyes widen as he brings up the next person. No, no, no. Not Lucy. She's sitting at her desk, her phone in her hand. Choice number 2. Lucy Harold. You just call her Luke, though, right? She's your little sweetheart. The girl you love. The first and only girl you've loved. You've been seeing each other 3 years now, and your relationship is pretty solid. But if you choose her, You'll be ridding yourself of the person who ratted you out to good old Mr. Mayor earlier today. I bow my head. Stop twisting the knife, you sick, twisted bastard. I want to scream. Lucy may have told my dad, but I don't doubt for a second she did it because she was concerned. I love her, and nothing will change that. My heart is wrenching at this game he's playing. I don't want to choose who he targets this year, but I most certainly don't want 3 people to die at my hands. The 2 people he's already shown have done such good things for me. I know them personally. I just hope the next person is someone I don't really know. The Reaper clears his throat. He's drawing this out. I think he's doing this for effect. Choice number 3, he drawls. I wait in dreaded anticipation for the name of the next possible choice. I close my eyes tightly, and a searing tear travels down my face effortlessly as he utters her name. Annabel Burton, your adorable, sweet, naive, innocent 6-year-old sister. Need I say any more? My breaths are becoming increasingly unsteady. He sounds like some kind of disillusioned religious fanatic who's lost himself in some kind of twisted fantasy. I'm sorry, Thomas. This may hurt a lot. He tosses the vial onto the flame, and an instant wave of heat stirs within me. It's increasing. I grit my teeth and bow my head. Everything's roasting. My skin is flaming hot. My cheeks are burning. I feel like I'm going to explode. My pores are producing huge beads of sweat, but it's not cooling me down. If anything, it's getting hotter and hotter by the second. I'm boiling. What is this? I cry. What's happening? You're going to liberate me. He smiles. I only need a tube of your blood. I promise it won't hurt much. Please, I beg. I don't want R. He's just sliced the blade across my forearm, and there's an instant flow of my blood gushing onto the arm of the chair. He presses the cool glass of the vial to my skin. I watch as my blood trickles into the container and fills it 3/4 of the way. Thank you. His hands trembling, he places the vial down on the desk. My eyes widen as he brings the knife to the same part of his arm and drags the blade along his skin. He fills the container the rest of the way and snaps the lid on it. The Reaper shakes the vial thrice in his hand. Now our blood has been combined. He looks at me and gestures to the fire. This is where I was anointed, and it's where I must deposit our blood to be saved. He looks to me, a crazed desperation in his eye. Someone who could take it on. Somebody who's got enough light inside them to manage it. My heart is wrenching as he comes closer to me. No, please. I don't want to. A teardrop escapes his eye. You're my temporary solution. You can take some of my darkness away. You can help make the guilt I have to endure over what I've had to do easier to deal with. All I need is some of your blood. Frenzy still dancing in his eyes, he dashes out of the room. What does he mean? I can take on some of his darkness? That he can fragment some of his soul in mine? That's not possible. He must be delusional. He's shuffling back into the room with a small vial in his hand. Gleaming in his other hand is a large kitchen knife. My eyes widen as he stalks towards me. He rolls up the sleeve of my school shirt. No, please, no. He folds his arms. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to decide, and if you haven't reached your decision by then, I'll just deal with all 3 of them. And now he's starting the countdown. 5, he says. My lower lip is trembling. Look, please. 4. I can't decide on. 3. Stop counting. Please, I shriek. 2. 1. Zer. I can't stifle my sobs anymore. Even past the tape, they're escaping as shrill, pained wails of terror. He sheds the tape once more, and I don't even flinch this time. All I can focus on the impossible ultimatum he's just given me. So, Thomas, Who's it going to be? My eyes are scalding from the tears escaping. I bite my lip to suppress my cries. Kill me, I plead. I'll volunteer instead. I can see the corners of his lips twitching. Slowly, his mouth turns up into a crooked smile. I'll not kill you, Thomas. You're instrumental. You're special. I need you. But you have to choose, or I'll just take all three. I cringe at his use of the word special. It makes me shiver. Thomas, you need to make a decision. I can't do this. There's nobody living in Eventide I can think of that I wouldn't mind killing. But these are people I know. They're good, kind, caring people who definitely don't deserve such a fate. I can't. Mr. Blanchard, I weep. He nods and closes the laptop over. Well done, Thomas. You passed. What? The Reaper smiles again and comes back to my level. You've proven to care for the common good. You chose to save as much lives as possible, saving the ones you held dear. You're not like the others. You're not like that father of yours. Like I said, you're special. What are you talking about? His seemingly random rambling is making me nervous. I never want to be the Grim Reaper. It wasn't a choice. It was a dated curse forced on me. I've got a dark side to my soul I can't control, he explains. But I can share it with someone. That part of my soul can be fragmented within someone else. I've been waiting for so long for someone I could